2023. This offseason, Tom Brady retired, and now for the first time in forever, the NFC South is wide open for anyone to take it. If there are two teams to run for the division this year, it's of course the Falcons and I think the Saints. The Saints with Derek Carr at quarterback is a huge upgrade from what they previously had, and I think with a solid defense, they could be a solid team next year. The Falcons signed many key free agents over this offseason, and most of them came on defense. First, the Falcons signed safety Jessie Bates from the Bengals, and Jessie Bates has arguably been a top 5 safety in the NFL over the last few years. The Falcons would sign veteran defensive end Calais Campbell. Obviously, he's past his prime, but for a one-year deal for a guy who's going to be a great leader for the Atlanta Falcons, I think it's a pretty good signing. The last one I'll be talking about is that the Falcons traded for Jeff Okudah from the Lions. So far in his career, he hasn't been the best, but he also hasn't been healthy, but I think if he is healthy, he can be a big part for this team. When I said Jeff Okudah was the last guy I was talking about, I was wrong. I forgot about Taylor Heineke and Matt Collins. They got both those guys, and those are very good signings that will help the offense a lot. If you see my videos, you know how this works. I just show the roster, I say the players, it's kind of simple. So let's look at the offense first. Why not start off with the QBs, of course, and it might be the biggest red flag on the offense. And you don't want the quarterback position to be the biggest red flag on the offense. The Falcons drafted Desmond Ridder in the 3rd round of last year's draft, and last year he wasn't awful. But if you want a guy to lead you to a Super Bowl, Desmond Ridder might not be that guy. Let's now talk about Taylor Heineke, and his career really didn't get going until he joined the Commanders, football team, Redskins, whatever you want to call it. In 2021, he replaced an injured Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he didn't do bad at all. In 2022, Heineke was even better. He had a winning record with the team, and if he started every game, they would have made the playoffs. However, Ron Rivera is going to Ron Rivera, and he benched Heineke in the second to last game in a playoff elimination game.
Back next week. If you guys are eliminated today by what happens at 4 o'clock, is Sam Howell in consideration?
We can be eliminated.
I think Heineke has a better shot of leading the Falcons to the playoffs, but I totally understand if you want to start Ridder because of player development and all that. I totally get it. Let's talk about the running backs, and honestly, I think the Falcons have one of the better running back duos in the NFL. You probably know who this guy is. Bijan Robinson was the most hyped up running back in this NFL draft, and the Falcons took him 8th overall, and expectations are high for him. I think he's going to be great this year, and he's going to be a really fun player to watch. This is why I say they have one of the best running back duos in the NFL, or rooms, whatever you want to call it, because Tyler Algier is the running back 2 on this team, and he rushed for, I don't know, over 1,000 yards last season. And look at the wide receivers, and we're going to include the tight ends, and honestly, outside of Drake London and maybe Kyle Pitts, this isn't really all that impressive. Drake London was a beast last year, and he's going to continue to improve. I'm just hoping for the best for Kyle Pitts because he's honestly been in disappointment so far. He's been hurt a lot, and his stats aren't really that impressive. But I'm really hoping for the best of him next year. Let's look at their O-line, and this is headlined by Chris Lindstrom, the right guard, and he's one of the best offensive guards in the NFL. This group is one of the more underrated offensive lines in the NFL, and let's see if they can do good in 2023, and I'm sure they will. I've talked about most of the notable players on defense, but if you've noticed, I've missed one guy so far, and that's AJ Terrell. In 2021, he had his breakout season, and this season was really, really special, and it put him on the map for cornerbacks. 2022, he had a massive step back, but I'm sure next year he can rebound. Hopefully he's not a one-year wonder. That would be really disappointing. Incredible job with this team. It's going to be exciting to see what this Falcons team can do for the future, and you never know, something big could happen in 2023.